Myself, Mr. Sihar Shah from Petroleum Department, Assistant Professor, Indian University. So today we are going to discuss about the fire safety. Fire safety topic in health safety and environment. So we are going through the series of lectures from the last one month onwards. So nearly we concluded the three units. So today we are going entering into the fourth unit. That fourth unit consists of fire and safety. So generally, you can ask it about. So what is fire safety? So what is its importance? So coming to the fire safety, suppose there will be some fire accidents anywhere. If you take in any industry, somewhere the fire accident is going to may happen. So that for that time, what we will do is we will use different some equipment to control the fire. So firefighting equipment we will use, fire extinguishers we will use. Otherwise, we will use different type of activities like firefighting team will be there, so they will come there and they will control the fire, and they will know the source of fire and use the different techniques to control the fire. So coming to any industry, fire safety is very important. Coming to the fire safety, we will go through the different processes. So today we are going to discuss about how the fire will be going to be formed, and how to control the fires, and what are the different types of classification of fires. These things we are going to discuss. So first of all, we will go start with the fire safety. What is fire safety? So generally, how the fire will be going to happen? So fire will be, the fire will be is like a rapid chemical reaction. Fire is a rapid chemical reaction which is going to be happen. Okay, which is going to be happens. Fire safety it's a chemical reaction which is going to be happen whenever the sufficient amount of oxygen and fuel and ignition and the sufficient temperature which is needed for the combustion purpose. So whenever these three elements will be going to be inside in a chamber, inside any environment, so automatically it will catches the fire. So mainly what we will use, the three main elements we are made for the fire. One is the oxidation agent. Okay, another one is the fueling element. The third one is the temperature, the sufficient temperature for the ignition. So these three are the more important. Suppose you have a particular temperature of oxidation and heat to the reached ignition temperature, and so for continuation of the fire, everything you have to support the fuel as a substance. So this one we call it as a fire. Fire will be going to happen like this. So first of all, you have to know what is fire. So fire is a rapid chemical reaction which is forms in the presence of oxygen and fuel and sufficient amount of heat energy which is supplied to it. So whenever you having the conditions like sufficient heat energy, okay, and heat supply and sufficient amount of fuel and sufficient amount of oxygen. Whenever the three elements is going to combine each other, there will be going to be combustion. There will be going to then it will going to be, and reaction will be going to form chemical reaction that leads to the fire. Okay, so coming to these things, there are three main elements which are needed for the fire. One is the oxidizing element. You can say that is the oxygen. And coming to the next, you have to temperature. The heating temperature is required for the flame to form. So that is the heating temperature. So heat input. And next one is going to the fuel or the combustion material which is going to be there. So these are the things. Coming to this one, next what will happen? So whenever the heat is formed or a flame is formed, automatically when the flames are coming, automatic heat transfer will going to be coming to that place. So whenever the heat transfer we discuss, there will be heat transfer with different methods. So first of all, you can say conduction. So by the particles which is side by side or which is in contact with each other, so they will be called the conduction, which is going to be through the heat transfer through conduction will be effective throughout the body which is inside the which is in the flame, which is in the fire condition. Coming to the next condition, heat transfer by convection. So convection will be what happens. The convection means the air particles which we are heated the particles which are heated around them. So the substance or the substance what you are taken are in a confined space what you are taken. So the molecules of the heat masses which will be transferred from that place to the air. So this will be called as a convection. Coming to the radiation. So radiation, heat transfer through radiation. The heat particles will be transferred from one place to another place to the radioactive transformation. So radioactive transformation, then that will be called electromagnetic transformation. We will call mainly the electromagnetic transformation from that particular part to the out of the surface area. So this one we call as a radiation. So first one is conduction, heat transfer by the substance which is present inside the which is present inside the inside the particle. So first of all, coming to the conduction, the heat transfer will be happening within the conduction of the material which is itself inside. So coming to the next one, convection, it will go through, heat transfer will be happening through the air from one place to another place by the traveling of the masses, the physical masses to the air. Next one is the radiation. So it will happen according to the electromagnetic radiation. So this is the heat transfer which is happens through the electromagnetic radiation. So these are the three processes which will come into the heat transfer: conduction, convection, and the radiation. So next, coming to the ignition. So initially, whenever the fire is going to be happen, initially we have the heating element at the igniting source. So how this ignition will form? So generally, how the ignition will form means contain the suppose any substance which is given a particular heat input. That means the temperature, the initial temperature which we are giving to them in the substance, so that it will just catches the slowly it will catches the ignition. So the sparks will come out of the substance. Then we call it as ignition. So whenever the heat temperature at the heat input which is going to be give the ignition at the spark inside the substance, we call it as ignition. So coming to this ignition sources, there are different ignition sources will be there. So coming to our daily life business, you can say the damaged wires, okay, or you can say that the broken broken, okay, you can say switch boards. So what will happen is there will be chance of sparkling. Okay, whenever the heat input is more, then automatically the electron traveling will be more automatically there. It will can say a spark will be going to be happens. So there are the different examples which we use in the daily life. So ignition he mentioned here what are the different things. So you can say electrical board equipment. So what are the electrical board equipments? Iron box. Okay, you can say the heaters. Okay, the water heaters and the damaged wiring. So these will be overheated. So sometimes the cables also will overheat. That will produce the sparkles. Then coming to the next one, open flames, hot surfaces. So these are all things which are going for the ignition sources. So whenever you're doing the welding operation, there will be sparkles coming from the welding. So that sparkle also pass for the ignition source. So sparkles from the welding operations, chemical reactions, and smoking. Okay, these are the things mainly. Coming to the flash point, the minimum point at which the vapors of the vapors of the substance or vapors of the liquid is going to catch the fire. So this one we call it as a flash point. The minimum temperature at which the first flame is going to be started there. So that one we call it as flash point. So generally this flash point is less, means automatically it is very hazardous material. So within less temperature it will going to catch the fire and it will going to harm the substance nearby everything. So whenever the flash point is lower, it automatically leads to the hazardous substance. Coming to the different examples, diethyl ether, it will coming at the minus 120 centigrade, and coming to the methyl alcohol. So alcohols also will be going to catch the fire. So whenever you take the different alcohols having hydrocarbon zones, the hydrocarbons are flammable in nature. Okay, so it will also catches the fire. So diethyl ether, it will go into minus 45, and methyl alcohol, it will go into 11 degrees centigrade. So these are the flash points. Coming to the classification of fires. So whenever the fire is happening, we have to classify how it is going to be happening. It's according to the substance which is going to be coming to the flame, coming to fire inside that particle. So classification will be like the 4 types classification, mainly class A. Class A will be depends on the substance. Like different other solid substance you can take. Okay, wood, okay, rubber, or substance, anything, the solid particles, solid substance which we are there, we call it as a classification class of A. So these are A type of first class A. Coming to class B. Class B consists of the gaseous fluids. Okay, gaseous liquids or gaseous fluids which are going to catch the fire. So mainly gaseous elements which are there, that one we call it as a. So coming to the class B, flammable liquids. Flammable liquids which are there, that we call it as a flammable liquids. So coming to the class B, coming to class C, the flammable gases. Okay, these things will be coming to the class C. Coming to the class D, the metal elements or the potassium, hydrocarbons, or metallic elements which are going to cause and going to give a fire. That one is classification D. So these are the four types. So first class A will be depends on the solid fuels, and class B will be the liquid fuels. In the class C will be the gaseous fuels. Class D will be the metallic fuels, metallic substances. Sodium, magnesium, hydrogen, these things will come coming to this place. So extinguishing the fire. So whenever the fire is going to happen, so we have to control the fire. So how we will control that fire? So we will have to use the different techniques. So first of all, cooling techniques. So what we will do is we pour the water on the substance so that it will going to be the heat substance which is going to be automatically cooled and the fire will be extinguished. So this extinguishing, so it will depends. So sometimes we use the water. This is the cooling effect. Coming to the, we will remove the heats. We will remove the contact between the heating element and the oxygen. So we will use the foam. So for that purpose, we will use smoothing by cutting the oxygen supply. So smoothing, what we will do is we will discharge a foam. Okay, discharge of foam on the that substance. Automatically, what happens? The oxygen supply, which is between the fuel and the fuel and the oxygen. Okay, the fuel and the heating substance, what is there inside that, in between that there will be oxygen. That oxygen will be cut, that will be cutting by the smoothing element, the foam. So this is smoothing. Next coming to the starving. So starving means, starving means whenever you feel angry, you will take the food. So whenever starving means automatically we are cutting the supply of the fuel. So whenever the flame is going to happen, that means there should be a fuel. So whenever the fuel is there, automatically it will catch the fire. Suppose the fuel is not there, so we are reducing the fuel which is giving input, so automatically it will starve, the fire will be going to be starving and it will going to be extinct. So this is the starving process. Next one is the imbibition. So imbibition is about there will be chain reaction which is going on whenever doing the chemical reactions. So there will be chain reaction. So whenever you stop that reaction, you are to break the chain. Automatically, imbibition will happen. So automatically, it leads to the extinguishing of fire. So these are the things. So first of all, we are applying cooling the fuel by applying water. This one is called applying water example. Smoothing means we are using foam, applying foam or carbon dioxide. Coming to next one, starving means we are cutting the supply of fuel. The final one is we are going to the different process, inhibition of chemical reaction. So what we will do, we will cut the chain reaction, applying the dry chemical bond. So this is the extinguishing of fire. So these are different fire extinguishers. We are using extinguishing fire. We are using processes like cooling of water, smoothing of water, cooling of cooling of the heating element, and smoothing smoothing of the system by cutting the oxygen supply. Okay. Next, we are going to the starving of the fire by controlling the fuel, and inhibition by using the controlling the chemical reaction by using the chemical bond. So these are the things. Coming to the next, fire extinguishers. So what are the different fire extinguishers? So initially we discussed about extinguishing of fire. So we will control the fire. So what are the different types we can use? So here I am mentioning the 5 types fire extinguishers. So there will be mainly 5 types. So I'm coming to that. The first extinguisher is water. Fire extinguisher is inside that fire extinguisher. Water will be there. Whenever you open that one, automatically water will come and it will spill on the fire. So this one will be used mainly for the class A fires. So whenever the solid substance which is going to be burned at its in flame condition, then you can use the water. Coming to the next, the carbon dioxide, the dry chemical powder. Dry chemical powder we will use for the class B and C. Okay, next we will use foam, carbon dioxide foam elements that will be for B and C. So coming to the next, we will use the AF carbon dioxide. That one we will use for the B and C. So next one, finally, the special dry powder that we are using for also mainly for the metals. So this is the inhibition stopping the chain reaction. Actually, chain reaction will happen on the metal. So for that purpose, what we will use, we will use dry chemical powder. So the dry chemical powder, the special dry powder we are using. Okay, that one will be the for the class for the class D files. So again we will repeat what is the first one, water we will use for the class A. Okay. Next we will use the dry chemical powder. Where you can say the that one we are using for the BNC. And next we are using the foam. That one we will use for the ANP. Foam we will use for the ANP. Next we will go for the different types, right? That classification carbon dioxide we will use only, mainly carbon dioxide we will use for the BMC files. So you can see the two types. So here you can see carbon dioxide and dry chemical powder both will be used for the classification B and C. Coming to the main, the final one, the dry chemical powder. That one we will using for the we are using class D files. That will be special. So coming to the water extinguisher. So water extinguisher, what will you do? So it will automatically it will discharge the water, and so water will be going to discharge on the heating element, and heating will be going to be cooled down, and automatically the fire will be coming to the control. So this one will be like, so generally we use this water extinguisher for the only the class A files, and we don't use for the class B and class C files. Coming to the class D files, we should not use the water extinguisher. Why? Because it will be going to electrocution. So automatically the electrical files we should not use the water. So it may increase the files and flame capability, and it will be destroy everything. So it will not use for the metal files also only. So it will be useful only for the class A files. So carbon dioxide extinguisher. So carbon dioxide extinguisher is the foam, right? Which is going to be this form. So this will be useful for the class A files and class B files. So these will be useful, and it will be create a foam which is going to be the foam layer will be formed between the oxygen and the heating element, that fuel what we are there. So the carbon dioxide foam will be going to be displaced on the totally and the fuel, and it will cut the supply of the oxygen, so that fire will be going to be diminished. So coming to this one, the carbon dioxide extinguisher is very useful for the class A and class B fires. Coming to the class C fires, like electric fires or the metallic fires, which cannot be useful. You should not use anything. So coming to the carbon dioxide extinguishers, so carbon dioxide extinguisher will be use of carbon dioxide. Okay, so that carbon dioxide, whenever you are using that, automatically the carbon dioxide will come out and cuts the supply of oxygen. So whenever the supply of oxygen is going to be cut, then automatically the fire will be going to be controlled. So this one will be the carbon dioxide extinguisher. So this carbon dioxide extinguisher we are use only for the class A and class B fires. Coming to the metallic or electric type classification, so we should not use the carbon dioxide extinguisher. So next we will go for the aqueous floated foam. So this one will be the next extinguisher. So AFF foam type extinguishers. So aqueous floating foam type extinguishers. What will happen in this inside this is, so we will use the aqueous floating foam. So what will happen in this aqueous floating foam will be distributed on the total surface of area of the fuel. So it will goes to be it goes to control the vapor pressure. So automatically the vapors which is falling from the fuel will be going to be controlled. So then according to that, what happens, the contact between the fuel and the oxygen will be going to be cut. So it will leads to the lowering of the fuel, and contact with lowering the fuel which is in contact with the surface of the and the oxygen. So it leads to the control of the fire. So automatically it will going to be extinguish the fire here. So AMF foam type extinguishers. So this aqueous floating type foam extinguisher we will use there. It leads to it mainly we will use this for the classification class C. So that means you can say that gases, liquids. Okay, this one will be used for electrical type of classification of files. Electrical type of files, we should not use the AFF type of resources. So it will mainly float on the surface of the fuel, and it will control the oxygen supply. So it will control the oxygen supply. It will lead to the burning of the substance will be become lower, and automatically the vapors which are forming will be become lower, and it leads to the controlling of the fire. AFF foam type these are. Coming to the next type, to dry chemical powder, DCP extinguisher. So this dry chemical powder will be mainly used on the metallic substance. So what happens? This dry chemical powder will be for going to be spill on the total on the material which is going to be in the flame, the metal which is going to be on the flame. So what will happen is it will going to control the surface. The metallic surface going to be contact with the oxygen, and it which is leading to the fire of the flame. So automatically it will control it will discharge on the total surface area of the metal. And if you come into the sensitive electrical equipment, so automatically the foam will be, the powder will be touched onto the surface and it will not easily removable. So these will be used for the mainly metallic fires. So ultimate aim of this dry chemical powder is we are cutting the supply of oxygen and controlling the fire, and the the vapors which are forming from this substance will be also going to be diminished. So this is dry chemical powder extinguisher. Coming to the special dry powder extinguisher. So special dry chemical powder, what we will use is we will use the different dry chemical powder dry powders. Like here I mentioned about that one ternary eutectic chloride. EC we will use ternary eutectic chloride. So this one will be used and blended sodium dichloride we will use. So these are different dry chemical powders dry powders we will use for the metallic surface, metallic fires, so that we can control the fire by cutting the oxygen supply. And whenever you take that thing, so it will going to cut the oxygen supply, or it will going to control the fuel contact with the heating element. Okay, these things. So what are the three elements are there? So anyone if you are going to remove, automatically the fire will be under control, and we can extinguish the fire. So propellant for extinguishing medium. So what the propellant we will use is CO2 will be converted into the gaseous form, and the gaseous form under the pressurized conditions will convert into the liquid. So this propellant will be made up of CO2. The propellant we are going to use it on the substance which is going to be on the flame. So whenever you use this liquid substance propellant, it will be going to distribute on the total surface area of the fuel, and it will cut the heat supplied for the further, and automatically it will lead to the extinguishing of fire. So mainly that CO2 what we are using it will be act as a propellant. So how the extinguisher will operate? So coming to the extinguisher operation, first of all we have to take the extinguisher into hands and keep it in a right position, top to bottom. So like it should be like two hands will be operating on the system, operating on the extinguisher. One will keep the hand on the down of the extinguisher, one will keep it at the top of the extinguisher which is having the flame. So what we will use is we will press the nozzle initially. Then we have to we have to face that face our the extinguisher to the straight of the base of the flame, and we have to stretch it, and we have to leave that one. So we have to operate that one. So right angles to the exactly the right angles to the extinguisher to the flame. So automatically what happens is the water or the extinguisher operation or the chemical which is going to come out of this extinguisher directly fell on the going to be discharged on the exactly at the base point of the fuel. So whenever the base for the fire is there, whenever it is going to attach that one, so automatically it will clear the path. It will clear the path between the fuel and the oxygen. So whenever you stretch that one and press the nozzle, and then whatever you have to rotate the extinguisher from one side to other side. So right hand to right to left or left to right, you have to control the fire exactly according to the edge of the fire extinguisher. So whenever you are using the extinguisher, you have to use the from the edge of the fire to the one side to the other side, so that you can control the fire. So this is the extinguishing operation. So there are different type of extinguishers. So this is one type of extinguisher which is in that extinguisher you can see generally it is in red color. When there will be symbols on that. So A, B. So this symbol denotation always remains that. So which type of fires will be suitable. So A and B here mentioned. So A means the solid materials fire, and B means the liquid materials fires. This will be useful for the both A and B. So it will be like mainly the carbon dioxide, okay? The foam carbon dioxide that we want to use. So extinguishing the fire. So how the extinguishing, how we will extinguish the fire and how we can control the fire. So we have to use the particular extinguisher for the particular fire. So whenever the classification A fire is there, so we have to use the class A fire, class A extinguisher. Coming to the class D, so coming to class D extinguisher only we use. Suppose it is the instead of class D, you use the class B for the different fires. So automatically what happens, the fire will become more and flames will become higher, and it is impossible to control the fire. So whenever the classification is D, so we have to use the classification D fire extinguisher. So what about the emergency response? So whenever the fire is going to happen, we have to first of all follow the emergency response. So emergency response, there will be fire alarms will be there inside the room. Otherwise, there will be fire switch will be there inside the room, emergency room switch. So you have to switch on that bell, and automatically the remaining people are nearby, the safety team or security team which will go to alert, and they will help you in the, as soon as possible. So this will be the emergency response. Don't be panic whenever the fire is going to happen. Don't be panic first. First of all, think about it, how it is going, why it is happening, and do the prerequisite things. So what we have to do for further to face that problems. So whenever you have the fire, you switch on the problem, you switch on the fire extinguisher, switch on that alarm, and so automatically you can control the fire. So this is the switches which are inside the homes generally. So in the center of the button you have that alarm. So just press on that black button, so automatically it will go into. And suppose you press on this black button, automatically it will start the giving alarm. So whenever one of source is giving alarm, automatically the team, security team, and everything, firefighting team will be going to be activated. So alert, they will come into the rescue. It will be easy for us. So suppose you want to deal with the burning and deal with the fire. So first of all, you have to know what is the mainly determine the what is the main cause for the burning. Suppose if you know that fuel element or the substance which is going for the solid, then you can use the particular, you recognize the particular extinguisher which is going to use for it. So you have, if you are know particularly know about it, then only you can use the extinguisher. Otherwise, don't use the extinguisher, and don't make it as a somewhat complicated the problem. So whenever you know that this is one type of classification or A, then you can take the classification A extinguisher, and you have to operate the nozzle at the right angles to each other, right angles from the base of the fire to the substance, the extinguisher what you are using. So just start the nozzle and operate from the left to right position, and you control the fire. So try to evacuate from that particular area, where the place the smoking is, and the total everything will going to be destroyed, because of the fire. So try to evacuate from the people who are inside that zone, and try to evacuate from the good oxygen supply air, and you can breathe there easily. So whenever the fire is going to be happen, then what you have to do is should not use the lift at all. So in the lift, everything will be operated through the electrical wires and everything. So the electrical wires also will catch a fire, and it will going to be not work properly. So whenever the fire is going to be happen, or the fire accident is going to happen, then you have to use the staircase. So the staircase is the most effective one. Whenever in a rescue, you have to go through the staircase to support yourself. So whenever you're moving out of the staircase, just follow them. Always moving out of the building, use the on the staircase. Don't use the lift. So coming to that one, and one more thing, there will be emergency exits everywhere. So look out for the emergency exits and try to go through that places. So coming to the precautions. So what the precautions have to maintain? Whenever the fire is going to happen, the staircase initially what you are using, the staircase should not be interrupted, or it should be like it should not be disturbed by all the different materials or substance which is on the staircase. So staircase every time you have to keep it free and safe to place safe place to travel from the one place to another place, one state to another state, and she should not keep any harmful substances or possible elements. Everything should be on the staircase. Whenever you see the heat and smoke, so don't go to the areas which are having the heat and smoke. So you come in the area which will not be visible properly for you to reach the destination. So whenever you're going through the things, then you check out for them and the blanketing substance or the closing already closed doors will be there. There will be no exit for them. So to go through the doors, so automatically the sideway door it will be already open. So you can reach the staircase easily and you can reach out from the building very safely. So whenever you are having the emergency equipment, do not upset the emergency equipment and should not deal with the emergency equipment everything. So fire extinguishers will be there. So whenever you have the fire extinguisher, so if you are know about the fire properly, then you can use the fire extinguisher. So these are the things. All of the people has to know about the what are the exit points. Okay, emergency exit points. So whenever you go to any cinema hall, theater, or any restaurant, you will see all these things. So any in the laboratory and the building also, there will be an emergency exit. So every emergency exit will be everywhere accessible. So try to use that emergency exit to in the emergency exit to come out of the space. So that there will be some emergency contact numbers. So first of all, you have to know the emergency exit, which place is a particular is there. So coming to the laboratory or the building, anything. Next one, you have to know the emergency contact numbers, which is present on the particular every building. So it will be mentioned as a particular point. So emergency contact numbers. So we need to take the helpline numbers and be on the safe side. Thank you guys. This is the unit 4 topics. So coming to the what is fire, what classification of fires, what is fire and what is classification of fire, what are the different types of conditions, what are the different types of extinguishers and which type of extinguisher is useful for which type, and coming to the emergency cases, emergency rescues. So these things you have to follow while you are following the fire safety in the industry or in any particular organization. And coming to any the theaters or something like the social or then other things which you are doing outside, like the industrial areas. And not only that, in our real life also you can use this fire safety precautions so that it will be good for everyone. And try to be on the safer side every time. Don't be in a panic mode and do the actions according to things what is going on there. Thank you. Thank you all.